emphasize in these two slides is how the deaf individuals feel in church. And we want to give them as much access as possible. So this is where we are really in this area if you look at the map. So maybe in the future you will work in these areas, you know, like La Crosse or Green Bay, or it's where your home is. And these are the areas of Wisconsin where the bishops live. The archbishop, there's one archbishop here in Milwaukee, and if you look at Cleveland and Cincinnati, they have a very large population. So you did study deaf culture when you were starting to take classes here, and in 1880, and the deaf community now struggles how they can get full access. And it does still happen within the churches. Specifically, the relationships between those who are deaf and those who are hearing. And really the goal is to have equal access with deaf individuals.
Mama. No.
And there are specific, there are seven sacraments in the Catholic faith, and they vary whether it's marriage or blessing with oil when someone is sick. And I'm not really good with the exact acronym of RCIA.
Baba. No.
And I was involved with this for 15 years. But now my wife is ill. And she is doing okay now. Her health is improving. And we're very happy about that. So if you, as an interpreter, are placed to interpret any of these functions, you know, for example, your retreats,
Bible.
so some of these things are just examples of things that I've seen in the community for retreats. Other examples, spiritual direction, service opportunities. ICDA is the International Catholic Deaf Association. I think we're throwing out a little too many acronyms and I don't want to overwhelm the students. I'm explaining them, so. Curcio is a movement.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really where people get together. Pastoral care and counseling is a weekly meeting that we do together, and sometimes it will be in hospitals, hospices, and sometimes they will call Father Christopher over and have an interpreter as well. Advocacy is another one. And I really encourage you all to go to Water Tower View. That's a meeting that we do together, the advocacy meeting, which is happening on November 1st. There are different parts of the celebrations. There's the reading, the songs, and the interpreter, usually we do try to give the interpreter this information before they come in. And there are also interpreter training workshops that we hold for them as well.
Hi, same.
I have big feet, I guess I keep stepping on the cord. I'm saying when I teach, I do the same thing. I think it's a generational problem. I sleep on the cord all the time. Big father like daughter. Growing up, I did teach my daughter some home signs, but sometimes I would call her my deaf daughter. And since she came to UWM. So I just want to summarize a couple positive experiences that we've each had with interpreters. Do you want to start? I guess you can start. That's okay, Father Christopher. Really going to church for me was important. It taught me how to be who I am and taught me my morals. So when I would go to church and have an interpreter, that was important for me. And if I didn't have an interpreter, I didn't have access. And I really thank the interpreters for being there for me. It takes a specific interpreter to be an interpreter for a Catholic Mass. And I have an interpreter that interprets for Catholic Mass. She is not Catholic herself, but she's very good at interpreting the Catholic Mass. And I need a relationship with God, and the interpreter usually is wonderful. And it means a lot for me, for you guys as well, interpreters, to come and interpret for me so I can have a relationship with God. And not only going to church, but prayer and workshops, baptism, funerals, conferences, for example. And a lot of times we do have preparation for interpreters at conferences, so they're not overwhelmed. And sometimes I have met student interpreters and I see them later on interpreting and their skills have really developed. Religious interpreting in itself is a challenge, understand that. And frozen text or poems is also some other challenges. Informal dialogue, prayer, there are a lot of things. Bible, like you said, yes. It is tough, I understand that. And if we all just work together as a team, and if you as interpreters are skilled, you know, maybe in mental health or all of those things that we did list before, not just religious interpreting, that those other interpreter situations will give you skills overall. Does that make sense to you guys? Am I right? You know, I don't want you to just sit there and think that it's an easy job. No. And I just want to help you grow and work, exercise your muscles, right, as an interpreter, you know? And then later you might be, you know, a really skilled interpreter, right? So I do just want to add one more thing. Interpreters, many skilled interpreters are happy to work with other newer interpreters. And it's not just with, you know, Catholic Mass or Teresa Schmekel, for example, leads a group, and she's wonderful. She supports, and she really wants to support other interpreters, and specifically religious interpreters. WRCI, Wisconsin Registry of Christian Interpreters. WRCI is an acronym. They are wonderful.
Teresa started it.
Teresa established this. So I hope I didn't scare you, but I really want to encourage you to contact us. Try to contact.
Comfortable with us now.
So now that you're more comfortable with us, welcome. So later, if you're working, you know, in the area, I really hope that you contact somebody in your area. I hope that you will have a positive experience. Go to Water Tower Review, for example, or GMAD, or the Deaf Picnic in Delavan. That's a yearly event. And that will help your receptive skills, and it'll really develop them. Is there anything else you wanted to add?